Good morning, everybody. My name is Jim McCarthy. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming out here and thank my partner, Steve. We're really glad to have you guys come back. We're going to do a little talk with some of these Santa Fe drivers up here. I know a lot of you guys don't even care, but these are the true legends of Santa Fe up here, other than me. And first, next to me is Pete Argianis, Tom Wagner. Oh, go ahead, correct me.
No, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
The infamous Little John Provenzano and Joseph Rossio, the Rubber Ducky Special. So you guys know I suck at this question stuff, so I'm just going to kind of let you guys pick a story you want to tell for start off things off and go from there. Hope they're good stories and not you took me out in the heat race that day. So
I think we all took everybody out sometime or another. But I just want to say I'm still racing today, and Jim actually still letters my car. You know, I race a Kankakee, we race a B-Mod, and I'm racing with my son. But when I raced at Santa Fe, I started around 80, 82. I won the Star Car division back then. That was like when you just kept on, when you first started racing. And then I went to Sportsman, and I raced late model. But Sportsman division, it was the best division that I've ever raced in. You had people that would actually check your car, and there were 20 to 25 people that could win every night. And if you said fast time, you didn't get to go to the front. You went to the back. You had to pass 20, 25 cars. So, I mean, all these guys here, they have probably a lot more laps than me because they started a lot earlier, but I raced with each and every one of these guys, and I'm telling you, they could really get with the program back then. I won my first feature against in the Sportsman division. I beat Johnny Garrett, and that guy was hard to beat. And a lot of guys had Johnny Garrett cars. Mine was sponsored from Saunders Masonry. And, he still sponsors me today. He's been sponsoring me for 25 to 30 years. So I'm going to let Tom talk now, but this is a great thing that Jim does every year, and we appreciate everybody coming out.
Yeah, Tom Legner. I think I've been racing probably longer than all these guys. I started in 1971 and ran Volkswagen mini stocks, and then 75 switched over to late models, running Ileana, Grundy. And then it was until 79, about halfway through the season, I'd had enough of the asphalt, and we took the car and changed it and went to Santa Fe and had a blast. Usually was right on the cutoff where I would make the feature or miss the feature and run the semi, but I was out there, I was having fun, and I enjoyed Santa Fe. It's probably one of my top 3 favorite tracks that I've ever raced at. And I'm still racing now. We're downgraded this year. I'm going to be running a 4-cylinder at Grundy against my 2 oldest grandsons and my oldest son. So it's going to be different. I haven't been on asphalt in over 30 years, but we're going to give it a try. But Santa Fe was always my favorite place, and my dad raced there also in the 60s. So I kind of grew up at the track, and it was a blast. It was family, I mean, there was a lot of arguing and everything going on, but everybody was family, and I really enjoyed it. So, all right, Johnny, it's all yours.
Thanks. I started in 1971. I ran 50 years. And as far as that they go, yeah, we all run into people because they made it start dead last. And the only way you can get to the front is move them. Oh, he had a lot of friends. He had a lot of enemies. Not a lot of enemies today. Old man John Garrett, I was here a couple of years ago, sitting up here with him, and he had to remind me when I wrecked him in 1975. Oh, that was kind of fun. And I don't know, Joe, did I ever run into you?
A few times.
All right.
And I probably run into you a few.
You know. Yeah. Matt, I remember I won the last race at NFA Speedway, and Joe helped me win it. He don't know it, but no, I was trying to get by Frank Reamer, and he wouldn't let me. I couldn't get by him, and he went around Joe on the outside, and I dove underneath Joe on the inside. Then I checked out and run off on him, but I'd never gone by him if Joe went into third place going into 3. But that's part of it. You learn a lot of memory, a lot of good memory, a lot of bad memory.
More
you know,
good than bad, though.
more good than bad for sure. 1990 they were erecting the 200. The announcer blamed it on me. No, but they didn't send their attorney out on Monday and apologize to me. All my car did was jumped out of gear, and they had a rule that day. You couldn't pull in and let you pull in on the front straightaway. Well, I broke down the back straightaway. None of it could see where we were going. The racetrack was terrible. But I have people always tell me, I was there when you caused that wreck. And I tell them, I didn't cause that wreck. Finally, I got tired of telling them that, and I tell them, I don't care what you think. On Monday morning, I put $13,000 in the bank. Oh, it no matter. But yeah, there are a lot of good memory. There are a lot of guys here that probably don't like me. There are probably guys that do like me, but how they brought you up. I mean, you had to rate hard. You had to move people because rating was right around the bottom of the racetrack. You had to move them. Oh, that's how it was. That's it. No, I'm done. Have to go.
Some of my better memories, I've made a lot of very good friends at Santa Fe. Some of them's not with us no more. Fred Royal, Mel Van Allen, Bill Clemens, guys that were just great people. One thing I remember about Mel, I was running in the sportsman feature, running for points, and I got crashed right at the beginning of the feature. And all of a sudden, I feel somebody tugging on my harness and that, trying to get me out of the car. I said, what's going on? It was Mel Van Allen had pulled to the infield and telling me to get into his car so I can make some points. So he gave me his car to finish the race. And I'll never forget that the rest of my life. And then there was times like I let Al Madden borrow my car one night, and he was racing against Fred Royal for points, which Fred Royal was a outstanding friend of mine. But Al Madden did a lot for me too. So I let Al borrow my car, and well, he won the feature. Well, then Fred's crew and Fred didn't talk to me for a few weeks. But other than that, like I say, I made a lot of great lifetime friends at Santa Fe, and hopefully a lot more to come. And that's all I got to say.
That don't sound like the Joe Rossi of I know.
And even Little John is my friend, I hope.
Yeah.
I also want to say that when most of Joe's wins, he was kicking everybody's butt with a 6-cylinder when everybody else was running V8s. So, before I put the mic down, we introduced a new panel member here, Bruce Monkman. Bruce Monkman, he's a Santa Fe staple too.
I was going out there in the late 60s, early 70s. People don't realize, by today's racing, it's so technical, and you just can't lean on anybody, you can't root anybody. And when Little John just said, you had to move guys out there. You had to really root them to get up to the front. And that's when they started the top 6 qualifiers in the back, the top money winners in the back. You had Nelson, Van Allen, I'm trying to think, there was Kelly, Kelly, Gardner didn't really run there on a regular basis. You know, you had Kelly. Kelly was a rough driver to get around, and he had a crew that could back him up. The story that this fellow told me says, Kelly says, you guys, when we get in a brawl and Jerry Johnson is involved with it, he says, you guys take care of Jerry Johnson and I'll take care of the rest of the bunch. Yeah, that's Jerry Johnson had a pretty good reputation as a scrapper, and he came up with Berger back in the day. You know, you guys don't know Bob Berger, and Danny Albright. You know, these two guys were in their day they were both like Golden Glove boxers, and that's how they got their fame. It's coming to Santa Fe, and you mess with anybody, back then. If you had a good crew, a tough crew, you found the victory lane more often than not. But anyway, that's I just want to say. And then later on, I graduated. Went with Jay Bowman, raced with him a little bit, won a championship with Jay. Ronnie Fisher, when he came along, started racing with Ronnie a little bit, and he's down in Florida. He couldn't make it, otherwise he'd be up here talking, But then later on, I twisted my wife's arm. I says, you know what? You've been around racing long enough. I said, why don't we get you into a powder pup, division and get you going? And she says, no. I don't want no part of it. I go, listen, you know how to drive. You know the routine here. I said, just get in the car and go. Well, lo and behold, she won fast enough. She won the championship in '77. So that was a family deal. Getting the family out there between me and my wife, and seeing her go around and win the championship. So that was quite an interesting deal that we had going. But she didn't want to drive. She had her heart set against, no, I'm not doing it. So, but I don't know if she thanks me today or not. I think she still holds it against me. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, she's pointing at you now.
Yeah,
You're in trouble.
With the middle peace sign.
Yeah, you're number one.
Yeah, yeah. But and when we sort of hit on this a little bit too. You said Santa Fe, they call it a park, and it was a park. And family members would come out there, and we all family. Anybody who raced inside that track was a family member, whether you liked them or not. We all became associated with one another. And you got to grow up with, some of the kids, and you see them grow up, and all because of Santa Fe Speedway would put this deal together. And everybody says, well, we lost a little bit of that, but thanks to Jim and Steve, we can bring that back here today with us and relive a little bit of that. Santa Fe brought a lot of good memories. Really had a good time out there, and if you were part of it, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you were in the stands, you got to know people. Got to associate with drivers, and you knew who the good guys were, who had the black hats and the white hats, but they were entertainers. They put on a show, and that's what Santa Fe was all about. It was always, I'd say, a show that was unexpected, delightful, because you didn't know what to get, you're getting every night. But boy, you knew when you walked out of there, you said, boy, was that entertaining. It really was. And and thanks to these guys here for putting that on. For entertaining us over the years, especially Little John here. Little John's got quite a career behind him. He's pretty modest, but he was one of the first guys to leave Santa Fe and do good, and went out there and said, we're going to go out there and explore the different tracks, and he did that, and he did okay. And when he came back to Santa Fe, he was even faster when he came back to Santa Fe, because he went out there and realized there's more to setting up a car than just for Santa Fe Speedway. You had to set up a car for different tracks, and that's what made you better. You stick around one track, you sort of get, this is my striving style. But Little John, I think, was one of the first guys out there to really leave, and I was surprised that he did, because he had things pretty much under control at Santa Fe. He was a big contender to be with, be around. But anyway, yeah, I could go on and on and on, and we will.
We ain't gonna let you though.
No, we will. We get back over at that table over there. We'll tell some more lies.
Yeah, now the real stories are coming out there.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah. I mean,
anyway, I got to cut this guy short just because we have our. Don't go anywhere though. We have our Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame announcements for this year's inductees coming up next. Oh, go ahead, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Bill Nippenberg and Smitty. Hope they're getting better. I hear Smitty's going home tomorrow, is the last I heard. So
Yeah, that's what
hopefully
I heard
they're
today
getting
too.
better.
Yeah, and also you guys' friend John Garrett, I hear is back in the hospital and he's not feeling too well. But that's why I want to keep these stories alive, and because every year we lose more and more, and people are getting sick, and we need to keep these memories and stories going. So, thank you all very much. You're all legends, and not just at Santa Fe, but around the country. So, thank you very much. Oh yeah, and would you please wish Mr. Rossio a happy birthday?
Happy birthday, Joe.